Welcome to Mage the Ascension Technogate 2000. Where we last left our group of heroes was that they were had just gotten back from some kind of time vortex thing that they got kind of shunted out of time for about a year, and when they returned to Technogate, they found that the entire place had been um, kind of um, shoot, lost the word that I was looking for, but basically it was decommissioned. And the stuff was all packed up. All the um, technocrats were gone. And when they looked up the files on the technocrats of the Technogate, they discovered that most or pretty much every one of them has either died or gone missing. Um, and that the Technogate program seemed to have gotten shut down a short while after they had disappeared from the timeline. And prior to disappearing, they had worked with Tycho's father to set up a trap for a creature called the Nameless, and supposedly had designed and done something that would alter the course of history. What they had kind of seen was that the Nameless takes over around the year 2000 and kind of manipulates things into his hands. And as far as they can understand, the according to their mother, or to Tycho's mother, they had found a file that she had left for Tycho, um, that basically explained that the Technocracy and the tradition mages were able to team up together and fight off a weakened Nameless, this being called the Nameless, that they had teamed up together to fight them, but in doing so they had caused a great storm to ravage the lands of the spirit realms, and kind of fucked up the spirit realms in the process of after destroying him, and kind of locked out many of them from being able to get back to Earth. Um, as well as it seemed to the cost of the battle was quite high on both the traditions and the technomancers, and so it kind of left both groups quite devastated, possibly even completely disbanded to a certain degree. So they have been trying to investigate into what's kind of happened here on Earth. And one of the things that they had stumbled onto was a event where there was a large car pile up and a crazy storm that kind of appeared out of nowhere, and they traced it to this one lone survivor named Kyle. He was a UW student. Can't remember off the top of my head what his degree was, but basically he had graduated, top of his
Astrology.
astrology. That's it. And he had graduated top of his class, but after completing his education, he ended up not going into the workforce or anything, and just living above Pincus McBride, and kind of getting, the long beard, and the shut-in lifestyle, and not quite putting on the tinfoil hat, but basically at that kind of level. Phaedra had used her womanly charm in order to befriend him, and is now currently talking to him inside of his little sanctum that he's built above Pincus McBride. Um, and at this time, we have Tycho and Malakai just outside the door right now. They don't have the ability to kind of scan to see what's inside because of the weird magical runes that this Kyle guy had put up. So we kind of left it with Phaedra was stating that she wanted to introduce him to, the greater supernatural world, which, is not that much greater for Technogate Team right now, 42. Because it just really, as far as they know, is just Tycho, Phaedra, Malakai. And we do, of course, have Robert, who is off studying supernatural and trying to figure out what's going on a global event. So he went over to Europe. You haven't heard back from him recently, but you're not expected to hear back from him for a while. So we'll go ahead and start off with just a little bit of a round here. And Tycho, tell us a little bit about your character and what does he look like?
Well, Tycho grew up at the local construct here in Madison. His parents were technocrats. His mother was the gadget lady, and his dad was an explorer. His dad disappeared when he was a kid. Uh, he grew up at the construct a little bit after that, and then went on an adventure with some werewolves. And shortly after he came back from that adventure, which ended in tragedy, he was put on Technogate Team 42, where our adventure started. He's in his late 20s, about 6 foot tall. Up until recently, had short cropped blonde hair, but now it's grown out to a couple inches. And he's afraid to ask anybody how to get a haircut because I don't know, there was a gadget that did that in the basement or something. Uh, he has foregone the metallic clothing mostly. He still has a shiny belt that is his dad's gun belt. Um, and he still wears somewhat ridiculous sunglasses. But in Madison, nobody pays attention to that.
Pretty sure you could walk around in full on Krynos in Madison. If it wasn't for the delirium, nobody would care. It'd just be like,
There was
oh,
literally a guy in Madison that we call the Wolf Man. I haven't seen him in a few years, but yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tycho. And Phaedra, tell us a little bit about your character and what does she look like?
All right. Phaedra is a 28-year-old black female. Currently, right now, she's like rocking dreads in a ponytail, white blouse, black slacks, a lab coat that's just stained, a black fanny pack bulging with components and files and trinkets and shit. She started basically freelance for the Technocracy. Originally from Vegas, was searching for mudding, this person that she'd been wanting to track down, and has been part of this group ever since. Currently, because of all the shenanigans with, Technocracy probably not being a Technocracy, she's figuring out what to do next. And that's her.
Awesome. Thank you, Phaedra. And Malakai, tell us a little bit about your character and what does he look like?
Yeah, Malakai started as a military brat. He enlisted in the Air Force, did a second tour with the Technocracy before getting picked to lead a team of deviant hunters. Nope. Reality deviants. He was a hunter of reality deviants. After a catastrophic start, he led a pretty storied career before accidentally making friends at a makerspace with several reality deviants. Ended up getting cross-promoted to do security for TG42 as the result of making friends with reality deviants. And it has since been... he's been kind of in a much more questioning state than he has been in the past about what he's taught and what he's 6 foot tall, got longer hair that is unkempt, likes to wear a light jacket and jeans, just casual, and has purposed himself of, after coming back from Altered Earth, of just no longer attached to the Technocracy and trying to keep his those who went through hell with him alive.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Malakai. So I believe where we last left off was Phaedra, you were just asking him if he would like to mate and learn about the rest of the supernatural world out there, and he immediately says, "Oh, absolutely! I've been looking to try and find somebody or something that could explain to me what's been happening to me and what's going on with this." With the true world that I'm starting to see, and I just haven't been able to find anybody. If you could assist me in understanding this, I would be forever thankful.
Not a problem. Uh, I whip out my phone because I don't remember that they're probably outside, and I give Tycho a call.
All right, Tycho, your phone rings. Do you have it on ringer or do you have it on vibrate?
Let's say vibrate.
I mean, yeah, you're on reconnaissance. We're experienced enough to put our shit on vibrate.
I'm just trying to decide if we have smartphones or flip phones.
I believe you guys have been using tricorders, which are basically cell phones.
I'm just thinking in the real world, in 2000, there were flip phones or like small cell phones, but we weren't anywhere near smartphones. But the Technocracy might have them.
Right, I mean, basically we've been saying that what you guys have been using as quote unquote tricorders are very similar to what we would call a smartphone today. And it would have, phone capabilities as well, which I always found very interesting that the tricorder was not their communicator. But I feel like at some point in Star Trek that there was communications done through their tricorders, and then it was switched or something like that.
I
Maybe
probably
I'm
should
wrong.
look it up, but I really want to have a Motorola Razr because that was, if I remember correctly, that was the real hot phone at the time of the aughts.
It was a pretty cool phone. I had one for a while.
Until you got nickel poisoning.
But yes, I answer the phone. Hello?
Yo, Tycho. I have a new buddy here named Kyle. Would love to meet you and Malakai.
Okay. Well, we're right outside. Are you going to bring him out or should we just come up?
What would you feel more comfortable with, Kyle? This is your space.
Wait,
Do you
am I
want
on speakerphone?
I don't know.
Just phrase it like he knew what the question was.
Yeah, Kyle kind of looks at you and is like, I'm not sure what you mean.
Oh, my friends want to know if they can come up here or if you want to go and meet them somewhere.
Uh, I would prefer a neutral place with, people if possible. I don't. He seems to like all of a sudden start like questioning a few things in his brain and wondering, you can just see like the gears working as he's trying to
Yeah,
figure out whether you're a trap or not now. He's like,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm like,
I'll take you
I,
or I would like to go to a neutral place. He's like, I've gotten myself too deep at this point, but if we can go to a populated neutral place, that would be good.
my main concern is the things that we're talking about. We don't want people to overhear.
Those black FBI vans, man.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Kyle, this is your space, and I get that, and I understand you want to keep that safe, but it's your space. We're on unfamiliar territory. It would be easier, I think, for you if we just stayed here. That way,
Well, I
if
guess
things were wrong,
you already know where I live, so
yeah,
if I'm guessing if you're talking to your buddies now, they probably know where I live. So bring them on in.
right. I'm gonna go down and I'll go get them. I'll be right back. Then I leave.
And run right into them as you.
And then I act like I'm going down the stairs, just staring daggers at them, like, oh, fuck this up. Walk down the stairs, wait 20 seconds, walk back up the stairs. Just in case.
Give me a dexterity subterfuge roll.
Ooh. This is gonna be bad. I can feel it in my bones. Oh shit. I was wrong. I'm so happy to be wrong. 4.
All right, so I don't know how you quite do it, but you're able to mimic like the sound of like 3 people coming up the stairs. You know, like you kind of do the like you know, multiple times on each step. And like changing up the amount of pressure so that it sounds heavier, and like you've done this before. And
Yeah.
and you're able to mimic, so even if he's a pretty solid listener, he probably doesn't think any the wiser. Um, so you are able to enter now into his sanctum without fear that he knows that these guys have just been hanging out in front of the door, which I don't know, maybe doesn't change up a whole bunch of stuff. In any case, so you guys enter in, you know, it's the small apartment room in, or above a bar kind of situation, where it's got the living room and the dining room and the kitchen all kind of combined together into one main area. So you enter into the living room, and to the right is the kitchen dining room kind of area. Lots of food, kind of, you know, half, you know, leftover food and leftover pizza boxes, or well, no, actually it's like a bunch of Subway sandwich casings, and you know, sometimes a quarter of a Subway sandwich, or not Subway, but the subs from down below. A bunch of, you know, pop cans, like, and soda cans and beer cans, all strewn about the apartment. There's a small couch, and runes like just painted all over the walls. There's a bunch of books that are laid out all over the place, and then you see the big, large tome that he showed to Phaedra last episode. You also have a bedroom that has the door shut to it, you know, on the far side of the living room, that overlooks the, you know, has most of the windows and stuff. Um, and he, you know, kind of looks over at all of you. He's got his, you know, disheveled hair. Doesn't look like he's taken a bath in quite a while. He's got the same kind of shirt, you know, with just a normal, you know, tank top shirt on, with got stains all over it, and it has, you know, the beat up blue jeans with rips and tears in it, overgrown beard, brown, you know, brown kind of hair. Almost seems like it's starting to go gray already, possibly from recent events that happened in his life. So,
Does he
he's
does
like,
he look like he works out? Your
no,
question.
no.
Okay. All right. I got a good picture in my head then. Keep going.
And so yeah, he's scrawny. He's and he's, you know, he kind of looks at all of you kind of wide eyed, and he's like, "So, are you guys part of the government?"
Not exactly. Well, no, we're not.
What do you mean, not exactly?
The organization we used to be with had ties to the government, but, well, suffice it to say, we don't work for them anymore.
So
Yeah,
you,
things
you
are weird,
used to
man.
work for the government. What, like,
We worked with an organization that possibly worked with the government, but they themselves were not the government.
some
What
kind
she
of
said.
secret society?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's yep.
And now,
Oh, we've been gone for a bit.
You should just be honest with them. We saved reality by destroying a version of Earth that was created in its likeness in the 40s. And it took and we lost a year. So we're actually missing a year of time.
he kind of just like is like, are you pulling my leg? What the fuck are you? Really? What?
I'm holding a deadpan, like just straight man. I'm straight man in the count. You're not sure exactly yet, but straight man. That's the face that I'm holding. As I look at him after just because that was actually said to Tycho. So
Yeah.
and I look back at him and I just
Basically, we have no reason to lie to you at this point. We have good news and bad news. Uh, Good news is you are correct that reality as you knew it is in a way wrong. You stumbled into a more correct answer of what reality truly is. Bad news is because of certain events that happened this year, individuals that could help you get closer to your truth have probably disappeared.
What do you mean? Closer to my truth?
eh.
You know, like the conception of or perception, how people perceive reality or realism can be different in different lenses.
Go on. I kind of understand what you're talking about.
Uh, we have our way of thinking of the world. And based on our conversations that we've already had earlier tonight, uh, your theories, though I may understand some of them, differ from mine. People who have more of your thinking have gone missing.
It's bars. Just it's yes.
Hmm. What?
In addition, we should say that many of the people that we knew are also missing.
Yeah.
And in our search for them, we found you. And, well, we're just reaching out to you because it's good to have friends. And honestly, having you around messing around with this stuff without anybody to at least point you in the right direction probably isn't a good idea.
Yeah, you could really fuck up and then blow yourself up and probably several blocks by reading something wrong.
Also, it's worth pointing out, this is probably a lot, but the reason I'm so comfortable having this conversation with you right now is because what you did on the walls here, and I gesture towards the walls, excellent, top-notch work. That is chef's kiss.
He seems to be kind of just like stunned with his like mouth kind of dropped, and he's like, I need to process this. Could you guys come back tomorrow? Can we?
Sure.
I just need a moment to like just process everything you just said and try and figure out what the hell is going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it help if you
Um,
had an example of what we're talking about?
Sure.
So your room, from what I can gather, has a heavy influence of correspondence. if there was a way for me to show you that I could leave this room without using the door, would that help?
Okay.
I'm going to would ask Tycho to help me create a gate, like a mini gate to get downstairs. Like mini.
What devices are you using?
I want to use. I want to use my building analyzer, and then. Hmm, that'll
Um,
probably not work.
I have a laser array that I use for correspondence.
Okay. I might just push my coordinates into your laser array then.
Okay. Give me either technology or hypertech. Um, difficulty of 7 for hyper or for regular tech, 6 for hypertech.
Wow, four successes on hypertech.
At one.
All right. And then you can do an Arte roll difficulty of 6 for its base. Tycho, you have that at a -3, and Phaedra has that at a. So Tycho is difficulty 3, Phaedra is difficulty 6.
2 successes.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I get 5, but I'm only doing correspondence 1, so probably
But it helps me.
yeah.
All right, so you guys are able to build like a mini portal that'll transport a person or a group of people to the downstairs, and you see his eyes just kind of like light up as you guys are doing all the like crazy technological like building of this gateway basically, and he's like listening and asking questions kind of along the way. Um,
Yeah.
and then
Actually, so the thing that I'd like to explain to him is like, so in general, like what we call them sleepers, like the sleepers, the people that don't know about this stuff. Uh, they would what they would call this is magic, but what we understand it as an academic pursuit, the changing of reality. And the thing about it that is confusing to most people is that there is no unified theory of this way that we change reality. So the way that we just did it, you might figure out a different way. They're, I don't think they're all valid, but somehow they work. So this is just the way I'm doing it. Uh, does that make sense to you at all, Kyle?
uh, I mean, not really, but sure.
Let me put it this way. If we understand that this gate is here, and you now understand this gate is here. If a sleeper person were to see this gate and they deny its realism, it could backfire and put you and that person and possibly anybody around this area in danger. Uh, so do these type of things or experiments with caution.
Ooh, holy fuck, what? This is insane. Right? I mean, I've like read about some ideas of like altered reality, stuff, but I mean, when you're talking about with like I guess I just he just seems to like kind of go into this. He's like, I just need to process this. I I I think it's too much for me to take in right now. But I do see what you are talking about. Perhaps we can meet up tomorrow.
Yeah, that
No
sounds good.
worries. Do you have a way to communicate with us? Do you have a phone?
I do have a phone. He gives
Okay.
you his phone number.
Cool.
Is that a cell phone telephone or a landline?
Landline.
Okay. Oh God, he has an answering machine, doesn't he?
He's always at home. If you miss, I mean, he does have an answering machine to answer your question, but
He's
don't-
one step away from wearing a tinfoil hat. He's alone and he's here all the time.
Yeah, he's basically spent the last, like, I would say 6 months, like, just kind of hobbled away, maybe taking a shower once a month. And it's been about a month since he showered.
Sweet.
Oh, can we do a mind effect to get him to shower before we meet him tomorrow? Or just, I
Just
suppose we could
persuade
just ask
him.
him. Just be
Yeah.
like, can you shower before tomorrow?
He kind of, like, takes a sniff of himself, and he's just like, ooh, yeah. I guess it has been a little while.
Wait, how long ago was he in that accident? The car accident?
He was in the car accident, about, oh, that was only like a week ago.
Yeah.
Um,
Not trying to poke holes in your plot.
that's like a good,
Just wondering.
good
No,
hole.
he
So.
he spent the first part of that month diving through the books, and then
Well, there's a
had
story
episodes.
behind what happened with the car pileup, and you guys haven't actually asked anything about that car pileup yet.
I'm gonna ask about the pilot.
Oh god damn it!
All right, you guys lost him at this point. He's
Okay, we'll come back tomorrow. I would just say, be careful. We'll see you tomorrow. If anything happens, don't feel free to call. And then I give him my number.
Thank you. Will do.
Good.
All
I
right.
just want to leave him with. I want to leave him with. Hey, vampires and werewolves are real. Okay, bye.
Do it. Fucking just fuck his whole thing up.
No. This guy has a recently awakened avatar. Let's throw fucking monsters are real. Okay, see you tomorrow. Yeah, let's
I
see
mean,
how
we
that.
already led up with there's different people who could do really fucked up shit. Also, be careful because if you keep reading from the books and you don't know what you're doing, you could kill yourself and everyone around you. Also, the government might be in on it. Who knows?
You guys have definitely given him a lot of information at one time that basically it just tells him, like, the world is 10 times more dangerous than you even thought it was.
I just double remind him on the way out. Hey, you did a good job with these walls. He'll definitely not leave.
Your protection is good.
Keep him alive for one more day.
All right, so you guys head off. Are you guys going to so what's or real quick, I need to do something real quick, but I will be right back. So kind of decide on what your next step is going to be.
Okay. So on the way out, I want to mention. Okay, I kind of need Josh for this. That
Okay.
if he's recently awakened, there's a good chance that traditions would contact him soon. I'm kind of surprised they haven't already.
Because they're probably gone, just like everyone important from Technocracy is gone.
Yeah,
I think
there's a
that's the point.
Like everyone's been
Okay.
scattered to the wind. The only reason I think we are even allowed to have this conversation right now without like coming to blows with somebody important is because those people are gone. this is our moment to possibly start a new thing where technocracy isn't hostile on contact with the traditions.
Yeah.
There's also the possibility that, if the Technocracy had found this guy before the traditions did, they would have tried to recruit him, just, indoctrinate him into the
I
technological
had that
thing.
thought too, but like,
But
how
but
would
we're
that
also
be
like
possible?
we're not super technocratic. Like they
Yeah.
put us on the B team for a reason, and it
Hmm.
was because we have a
We call we
destiny.
call we called them civilian teams, but yes, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Um, but at this point, I think the main thing to do is to find the lay of the land.
Yeah.
And finding this guy is part of that, and making
I'm
sure
back.
that he has a place, uh and making sure he doesn't blow this town up because he
Yeah.
seems like he's, pretty good at it. In terms of short-term stuff, I'm guessing we go back to my mom's house, teleport back to the Technogate construct, and just come back here tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm in
I'm
agreement of
thinking
that. Wait, wasn't there something else that we needed to do outside? I can't remember.
I can't remember
I
anything.
got all my shit.
before we jump on to the next thing, I just am wondering if we should put surveillance on him overnight. And I have no idea how we would do that. I'm just tossing it out there. In case he's visited, we might end up being able to get touch base with. We have to be real cautious about it, but what's the remnants maybe of the traditions? I don't know what's going on, but maybe that's why they're so slow. Is that they're just kind of they got a labor shortage.
I think the idea is that like the ones that are left are really inexperienced, and they might not be looking for people
Ah,
because
yeah.
they have a lot of other shit to do. I don't know.
Nope. I was just yeah, it's one day. Let's just touch base with them tomorrow, and I could tell that there was shit on his walls, but I really didn't. I don't know.
So you
He-
lied. You have no idea what he did to those walls.
No, I could see the effects. I did not when I was looking at the things he had drawn on them. I've seen it before, but it still doesn't make any sense to me.
Oh yeah.
Like I could see what it was doing, but it was and it was effective. I was not lying. Uh
Actually, you hunted deviants for years, right?
well,
You might,
yeah. I
you
I
might
have
have
I
seen
have some
something similar.
experience. I'm
Of any of us,
yeah.
you might actually know what tradition he would be closest to. Mm,
Okay. I
maybe
want to
not,
say
because
hermetic right off the bat, but I also feel like that is a role level
yeah, well,
information.
that's out of game, yeah, knowledge.
You could make a cult roll if you want.
Think I made
Difficulty
that
8.
cult roll last time,
I
and
believe you
you
did.
gave me hermetic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tell you, yeah, it's hermetic by
Okay.
nature.
All right. Yeah. And I
Tradition.
Oh,
Yeah, they all look the same to me.
with all of the bigwigs gone, we could possibly put him. If we could find their facilities, he could get more information. Uh, I'm looking semi at the big picture of what we should be doing. Do you want to build the technocracy back the way it was, or should we have more relations with the tradition?
Are you asking me?
I mean, you've grew
'Cause
up there, and I'm also looking at
yeah.
Malakai too.
Well, the thing is, the Technocracy was all about reinforcing a certain paradigm and being very forceful about it. And I disagreed somewhat with the paradigm, and I really disagreed with the force. So if I was going to use the resources that we have access to at the Technocracy construct, I don't think I'd want to rebuild the reinforcing of a paradigm that I didn't agree with. So it would be different. And also, I wouldn't want to use the force like that. Yeah, I think Tycho's pretty conflicted about the whole thing.
Okay, well, we don't have to
Point,
make a decision now.
He's probably on a path to not being a void engineer.
Oh, really?
I think that we're going to decide. Okay, I might be getting ahead of myself, but who knows what it's going to look like in the future? Is what I'm saying.
All I have to say is I like what I do. I like it a lot. If I can continue to do what I want to do, uh, within the parameters that is the technocracy, I will do that. My problem with the previous was I was not allowed to do what I want freely. I'm good with rules as long as they are good with me.
Malakai has a new perspective on what's going on, and he is particularly excited about. So his story went hunted them, became friends with them unknowingly, got in a lot of trouble with his bosses for it, put over here, has run into them again, and now has an opportunity to meet them properly. So I'm actually just hoping and excited for the idea of actually meeting who they are, opposed to this, and like this
So you're
enemy
looking,
cockroaches of reality deviance. Seeing them as
yeah,
people is, and
you're
that's what he's doing.
you're looking
So I'm
forward
excited.
to, yeah, rebranding what the technocracy's definition was.
Yes, and I am very open to in terms of, do we want to rebuild the technocracy as it was? He is a full on hell no. It was wrong. I mean, I got in trouble for being a person. That's the way that he feels about it. So yeah, fuck all that. Let's figure out something better, something new. And so I'm excited about our new friend, and hopefully he doesn't kill himself with paradox.
That's your concern too. Yeah.
It's, well, assuming he's not being hunted actively by somebody, assuming there's not some other group that's going to come and swoop him up and be like, "Hey, we're going to teach you the proper ways." In which case, if they do, I want to see them do that so we can maybe get a hold of them, and just start the conversation. Um, the next thing that's going to happen is he blows himself up. So, yeah, yeah.
So
Shut
one
up.
of the questions I kind of have is for the night that you guys are kind of using as this downtime. Are you going to do investigations into any other things that you know about, like some of the vampires that you know about? Which you actually, I don't think you know very much about the local vampires, to be honest. You know about like one that you kind of studied. Um,
Uh, yeah, we've got the one that I had, and also like that.
and
Yeah,
Kyle.
I'm gonna look into the underbelly. Might as well.
I know that there's also, connections that you have to werewolves that you guys were going to check out.
Yeah, possibly at some point. I think the way that I would start that is if we can get back to the construct, since everybody's gone, uh, I want to try and find files.
Okay, so you're gonna start like digging through um,
I'm
the
hitting the
files
streets.
inside of the construct, and Phaedra's hitting the streets to see if she can run into any supernatural creatures. Malakai, what are you up to for the night? might be on mute if.
Oh, thank you. I am going to be outfitting the shop proper. I'm going to get it to 100% because I have some ideas for manipulating the base at the Technogate. But that will be future things, and I'm just getting ready for that. So,
Okay.
that's me.
All right. So Tycho, I want you to do a research plus intelligence. Difficulty of 6.
Okay. I got 1 in research, but
Oof.
oh boy.
Ooh,
Well, if I was gonna botch a roll, that's the one to do it on.
good bait, good business.
So I'm gonna make this kind of simple. That you spend the entire night basically researching into the local werewolves, and realize that you've just been reading fanfic about like the werewolves and stuff, that has some like information that like coincides with what you already knew, but like all of this, like you thought that you like had found like a treasure trove of history of werewolves, but it was just like somebody who kind of knows similar to what you know about werewolves, and kind of like made up his own like
I
stories and stuff.
I read I read the fucking misinformation or the disinformation file. I'm like, oh my god, this is so detailed and exciting. I get to the end and it's like prepared by disinformation team. Like, oh fuck, this is the decoy file.
All right, so Phaedra, you are gonna go out. What kind of what are you doing to try and find supernaturals?
So, I remember like reading through those books from Muddin and doing my own research that their feeding grounds are usually in heavy populated areas, but like some of them like homeless. So I'm gonna go down State Street and check the general activity that's down there, see if there's parties in odd places, that type of deal.
Okay. Make a. Are you going to be like socially interactive with a bunch of people, or are you just kind of like stealthily kind of going about, or are you trying to be
I'll be social.
Okay, give me a streetwise plus charisma, difficulty of 6.
Two successes.
Okay, so you start hitting up like the nightclub scene and stuff like that, and you find that there's a few leads that you kind of get that night, but nothing groundbreaking, nothing that you can immediately act upon, but you have like some work that you've done in the like making some contacts and talking to some people. Um,
Wore the wrong clothes.
No, I mean you did fine. You just didn't, the one thing is that you're also noticing that there isn't a lot of like supernatural activity. Like prior to the year 2000, you probably felt like you might have run into something, or you might have been able to get like pretty good leads on something. Um like in my world, I kind of had a lot of supernatural stuff, especially going on in Madison. So supernaturals seem to like bump into each other, like just the entropy, or uh things that just bind the world together, destiny and stuff like that, seem to clash a lot more, where you would probably have something crazy going on. Or at least that's kind of the way that it's been feeling for your life recently, and you just don't get any of that. There's really no activity. There's some, some tales about this, that, and another thing, but I mean, it's all like year-old information.
Okay. All right, then I'm gonna probably pack it up and head back.
All right, and then Malachi, you're just doing preparations at the base.
Yes, I would like. So I'm just setting stuff up, and then I would like a couple of ret rolls to make specialty ammo for the pistol, or maybe one ret roll for that, if I can.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, I just got to refresh my prime ammunition. That's at a 6, correct? All right, I'll take the 4 successes. And so I have my.
Hold on, my puppy wants to go outside here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that should do you fine for making some prime ammo. A lot of it.
All right. Yeah. I'll okay. Yeah. Then take care of your dog. I got one other.
Yeah,
thing
let's take let's take a 10-minute break here, and then we'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I had 2 other quick things to do before or during the evening. One is
okay.
a joke, and one is a roll.
Okay, and we are back. So we had just finished with I believe Tycho and Phaedra's actions, and we were working on Malakai. And my dog was very intent to go outside again. So
Yes. Just to. So during the evening, at some point, I put on the armor in the workshop and just like run around it a bit and like working it, and I miss taking that thing out. That's nice. And then I'm going to try to pour over some old. I would like to try to remember what I know about hermetics and how it might, and specifically to the way they recruit new members. Have I heard anything about that? Was that ever part of
right, yep. So do an intelligence plus occult roll, difficulty of 8.
eight?
None of
No.
that rings a bell at all. Like you
No.
didn't really ever study the, recruitment tactics of any of the traditions.
Oversight on my superior's part. Okay, and so yeah, that's how I finish out the evening.
All right, what time do you guys normally, or I guess it doesn't really matter normally because everything's abnormal right now. So what time are you guys waking up at?
Probably rolled in at like 4 a.m. drunk. So whatever time anybody else wants to wake me up.
I'm thinking I was researching till probably 2 or 3, so I'm probably not going to get up till almost noon.
I have to maintain that rise with the sun regimen, and so I will be up either at or maybe a half hour behind sunrise, and then feel guilty about getting up so late because the sun's already up, even though I'm underground.
Do you wake any of us up?
No, you guys live different lives than I do. I'll get you probably around like 11. Does that feel like that would be a normal? Hey, let's I want to be awake before noon. I don't mind. Otherwise, I'd leave you guys to do your thing.
Yeah,
Ele-
11 sounds good.
11's okay.
If I have food at lunch, I'll ask you if you want some. I'll wake you up and ask you if you want some, and then that's what we'll say. Um,
Like, wake up super cranky, pop a caffeine capsule, and munch on a nutrient bar. Go sit at my desk.
Yeah, I'm gonna get food. I'll tell you guys. Yeah, I'm going back to the file room. Uh, I went kind of down a rabbit hole yesterday that didn't pay off on local supernaturals, but I got to figure out where at least they used to be, so we have a little bit of the lay of the land here. Phaedra,
Oh,
did you find anybody last night?
I could not find a soul, which is, I wouldn't say concerning, seeing as that is the pattern that we've been having recently. It could just mean that they also were affected. Uh,
Yeah, I suppose it's possible. I mean, I do technically know where the local werewolf cairn is, or base. I don't know what you
Tycho,
would call it.
do you want? We could go there today.
Yeah, it's just that if we have a thing scheduled for later with Kyle, like I don't want to
Tycho,
get tied up with,
Tycho,
possibly getting attacked and killed before that.
you've been putting this off for a very long time. Rip the Band-Aid off.
It's just that if
Yeah.
something bad happens
I
and we
toss him
don't
a
show up to
nutrient
meet
bar.
Kyle,
I grab him, and we're gonna go. We're going. This is what's happening today.
Okay. Just for the record, we do have Kyle on the schedule. When are we supposed to
I
meet
checked
him
my phone.
later?
He didn't give us a time. I checked my phone. Did I get any message from Kyle?
No message from Kyle at this point.
Cool. Then we're going. Get in the
we
car.
grab him and bring him with to the werewolves.
We're going now.
All right, Tycho's just going to be a bundle of anxiety.
Mhm.
I
I
will
can't
drive.
drive. Thank you.
Yes, I will drive.
Oh shit! Sorry.
And you where are we headed to? That way you get to relax in the passenger seat or back seat, depending on how Phaedra's holding you right now.
Wait, just a second. I need a thing, and I go.
Watch him like a hawk.
There's a module. I know they have some in the storage over at Q Division. And it's basically a dimensional science compass, basically. It cuts through some of the camouflaging that they use.
Okay, I'll go with you. Let's go get it.
All right, so it's just a device that should allow us to get through. We can throw some numbers on that, or we could just hand wave that. I pretty much just made it up right now, so
That's fine. Just be yeah. For purposes of that, it just allows you to do some magic, basically.
yeah.
It's a foci for you more than an actual device at this point.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, their local base is in the Arboretum.
So we're gonna teleport to your mom's place and take one of her cars.
Yeah,
What
that's how
what
we've
are we
been
taking?
rolling. That's the year 2000. What kind of car did you drive in the year 2000?
Dodge Neon.
Perfect.
If we want to be inconspicuous, actually.
A gray Dodge Neon.
I was hoping for driving one of the fancier ones that look longingly off into the undisclosed cars that are in the distance. Let's take the Dodge Neon to the Arboretum.
Yeah.
We
All
go.
right. So you guys head over to the Arboretum. Um, it's in the afternoon. You guys are able to get there without any problems. You guys are driving through the woods, and are you going to park off at like where there's the normal public and parking spaces and stuff like that, or are you gonna just like
Yeah.
pull off to the corner? It would be more direct to pull off on a corner or to just off to the side of the road and walk directly to where the cairn is, than it would be to go from the public space. It takes like a while. Usually, to get to the cairn, you would probably either park for the public parking spot and have like a long dry or long walk ahead of you, or a lot of werewolves just come in from not the from using cars. Most of them don't use cars, so it's turned into wolves.
Yeah. So the way, because I actually wrote this for the Madison Under Siege mythos. The way it works is their cairn is actually in the Umbra, and the way it works is there's kind of there's a path that you take, and you're just walking, and there's a certain part where the Umbra gets thin, and sleepers can't go in the direction that they need to get to the cairn. That's what the device is for. And it channels my dimensional science capabilities. So we actually have to go to the public entrance because it's kind of a thing.
Okay.
It's also easier to hide a car in a public parking lot.
Yeah.
All right. So give me a the is it? Do you guys don't have survival on your sheet, do you? Let's see.
There's survival.
Yes. So then I want a survival plus perception check, and Tycho, you'll be kind of giving the lead on here since you're heading in the direction that you remember the cairn being and the way that you kind of get there. But I still need everybody to roll.
I would like to go at the last of the group, follow at the tail, and do perception alertness, if that's okay.
Yes, that's fine.
What was the difficulty? 6?
Difficulty of 6.
All right, I got 3.
Got 1.
And then I have 1 on alertness.
All right. So, you Tycho, you kind of lead the way, and with the more successes, you kind of are, definitely solidly leading the way for everybody. And you get to the point where you believe that the Umbra should thin, and it's normal forest thin around here, but it doesn't start thinning the way that you would anticipate it to. And you can still breach into the Umbra if you want, but it is going to be a gauntlet of 2 instead of the like 0, I believe that it would normally be. Now, for you, it gets harder to punch through so it's actually a little bit easier for you to get through at this point. because you're technologically paradigmed.
Yeah, because it's flipped for technological. Yeah, the last time I did this, I was with werewolves, or I was coming from the opposite direction. Um,
So it is a little bit. It'll be difficulty 8, I believe, instead of 10 to punch through.
Oh shit.
yeah, and that's an arret roll.
Still, yep, a straight up a red roll.
Okay.
You
Are we?
can lower difficulty still with quiescence and with doing an ability check, but for what you're
What is
trying to do,
my device? What does my device do? That's a focus, so it just allows me to do it,
just
or
allows you
or
to do it, which allows you to do the hyper tech plus, I would say intelligence difficulty of 6 to lower the difficulty.
let me do that real quick. God damn it.
Oh, is that a straight up botch?
Yeah, it's a botch
No,
botch.
no, it's not. He got a
No, I
9.
got a success.
You got 1 success. So
I
he
did
didn't
get a
botch, but you definitely fail, and you kind of just are like things just aren't going the way that you kind of anticipated them to go to a certain degree when you got here, because you'd always been with werewolves and stuff like that, and you've been using Technogate and like Umbral like travel back kind of to make it really easy for you to kind of breach through the gauntlet. And this time around, you're just like, oh shit, like this place is like, is a little bit different than what I thought it would be. There's not like this. There's possibilities that you could have found like a pocket where it's like you don't even need any um correspondent or uh spirit magic in order to breach the gauntlet. You could just walk through it by accident. Um, there are
Yeah, but
certain
for us, it's backwards, right?
no, because I mean at that point you're still dealing with that that the spirit world and Earth are one. There are very few pockets like that exist in the universe, but Madison might have had one.
Yeah, it's just trying to force it is difficult for
But
us.
yeah, so for you to force through the gauntlet, for you it's the opposite. But in any case, you're not finding the same paths. You're not finding any of the same, like the feel of this entire place is different.
Hmm. Uh, it's not working.
What do you mean?
It's just not working. We
Have
we
we
can walk
stopped?
around. What's that?
Have we stopped moving? Are you like feeling
Yeah,
when
we're
your
like,
device stopped? Can I look around for impact? Like there are creatures that live around here, and they're about this big, and they run.
Yeah. Give me a
That kind of
survival
stuff.
plus perception check.
I'll do the same.
actually, can I do a perception werewolf lore?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'd set a 6. One. One for me.
Two.
On werewolf lore.
All right. So, um, you guys are kind of all like searching, kind of checking out things, looking for markings and stuff like that. And there's just your normal uh, wildlife activity here, like deer and rabbits and squirrels and stuff like that. You do not find any trace of wolf that you can find. Tycho, you feel like there should be some, at least some kind of information here that will um, that will give you some information. as to like the indicating that there's a cairn here and stuff. But you're not getting that information.
Like Tycho, I'm not seeing any signs of large creatures inhabiting this area. Are they just that good?
I mean, the last time I was here, there were signs. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be any indications. I mean,
Can I do?
the barrier is still low. It's just not as low as it used to be. I mean, the thing is, you used to be able to just walk into it without, they called it stepping sideways. It was just normal people never found the right spot because of the wards that they have up.
I want to do correspondence, and crime to find that pocket.
Okay.
Would that difficulty be 6?
Tell me first, how are you physically doing?
Okay. I want to use. Maybe I should do spirit and correspondence and then use my anomaly detector to see if I can see an abnormal pocket in the surrounding area.
So we're gonna brute force it and see if we can find the Gauntlet 0 spot.
Fuck yeah.
All right.
Might as well try it.
Yeah, I'm gonna help. I've got Dimensional Science 3, so
I'm gonna keep looking for creatures watching us. Oh, let's switch it to awareness this time instead of alertness.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I use intelligence and it would be science to lower the difficulty in my ret roll?
Yeah.
I'm quite aware. I got 4 above a 6.
Oh, yeah.
3 above.
6 will be your base difficulty unless I change it up.
Yeah, I figured.
Cool. So my ret roll is going to be 3.
Oh yeah.
oh man, I want to do hypertech, but that last one just
And I got 5 on my ret roll.
all right. Do you still want me to roll a ret?
Yeah, you can roll a ret too.
But do you want me to?
I truly don't want you to.
I don't want to.
I don't want you to mess that
Phaedra
up.
figured it out on her own.
We can just go with Phaedra's roll. Phaedra, you're looking for these pockets. They don't exist here that you can tell. In fact, you also have like a prime of 1. You also have a pretty powerful prime master with you. You guys are not getting the same kind of feeling of power that you thought that you would kind of get from this place. Maybe it's even more well hidden though.
I have a prime of 2.
But yeah, basically, you're
Seems super normal around here.
you're also not getting like a sense of power coming from this place.
Would that correlate to what Tycho's mom's letter is basically said, where like certain areas were blocked off? Could that possibly be what's happening here?
Yeah. It could be that there's things that are getting blocked from you. There's possibly more, it just might be the normal defenses because normally and with a werewolf carn it's very possible. but you're kind of getting you're not seeing like the markings, you're not seeing anything that, would clue you in if you had knowledge of werewolves that there's a werewolf Karn here. Um, and that does seem to be abnormal. You're also just not getting it's not necessarily like there is a faint amount and there is like some node power here that you could possibly, tap into, and find like maybe the heart of with time and effort, you might be able to locate where there's like maybe maybe a couple of nodes that might be in this area here. But you're not feeling like an absence of node power here, or the world seemed like, as you kind of like are noticing kind of and trying to feel things out around you about trying to tap into the spiritual realm and shit like that and the other dimensions, you're just not getting that feeling from this kind of place anymore, or a connection to like the other dimensions or the spirit world.
Yeah, they can't just be gone though.
Tycho, do you think that they would have fought the Nameless?
Possible they might have been involved, yeah. I mean,
Did they get hit the same way our leadership did, do you think?
yeah, but I mean, there should be at least something left. But if there's nobody around, I mean, they might gather somewhere else now. But I mean, it's a possibility that there just aren't enough left to populate this area.
Shit.
Uh, Man, I was really hoping to talk to some of them, even if they would be hostile, just to find out they know.
Would you like to leave a message behind, and then just, if someone comes upon it, we can just contact them then?
Yeah, maybe named Kyle. I mean, there's a lot of Kyles up there.
Uh, Actually, would I know how to do that?
I would say we could just like leave a beacon like at a high frequency where only they can hear it.
Uh,
Oh, that's
Wait,
seems like an
no,
exposure point.
um, GM, I have a werewolf lore of 4, even though that seems ridiculous. Um, can I, uh, in the runes that werewolves use, did they show me how to write my name with that?
Sure.
Okay. I will carve my werewolf name using werewolf runes at the base of a tree near the lowest gauntlet area, uh, and put the rune for alive. Yeah, motor roaring is alive. If one of them finds that, they're either going to try and find me for one reason or another.
All right. So the see. So you guys head out. You could still try and pierce the Umbra one more time if you want to give it another shot. I would say with the kind of attunement that you've gotten yourself with the area, and you've kind of felt out there are, quote unquote, like maybe easier spots for you to break through. Um, there's like a
Uh, I'll put it to you
But
guys. Do you want to try?
my problem is, from how difficult it's been so far, how difficult would it be to get back?
Uh, I
I'll
mean,
I also have
That is a door that does not seem super easy to reopen once closed.
my hesitations are that our world is different. It might be different there, and that's. I'd
Yeah,
like to send a drone first. How do you feel about that? Sending a drone first?
well, I think
That's.
there's. Well, no,
Let's
sending a
try this
drone
again
through.
when we got the teleport.
Yeah. There. I think there's a device. It's not a really common one because the Technocracy didn't really use this very much. But there's a device where you can set it up, and if you calibrate it properly, you can look through without going. So, just it takes a minute to set it up. That's all.
Yeah, you could also give that an attempt if you want, instead of
Yeah, you
trying
want
to
to do that?
break through.
You want to do that right now? What do
Yeah.
you need? You need some batteries? I got some batteries.
Yeah. I suppose we can look through.
Supply battery.
I will help assist getting it set up.
Okay. Well, it's the device that I have right now. It functions as that. It's just it's only one person can look through it at a time. So
Oh,
it's like
okay.
a
So I take the battery back.
well, no, I still need a little bit of power.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go.
Is this actual quintessence, or are we just
Yeah, no, this
doing
is pulled off
Babel?
of the. This is yeah. I am picturing them as individual tasks, basically.
Oh, okay. Well, I will use that. Let's go ahead and do that hypertech roll again.
Will you need correspondence to look in?
No, I think it's just dimensional science.
Yeah,
So,
just dimensional science.
Okay.
all right. Do you want a hypertech roll?
Yep, go ahead and
Sounds
give me a hypertech plus intelligence, difficulty 6.
So
I'm
mine
gonna
would be
spend.
8.
I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Technology. Yeah, you can spend a willpower, yep.
Oh my gosh.
I got 5 and you got 5.
Wow. Impressive.
I got mine at difficulty 8.
9, 10, 10.
I'm like, I pull back a panel. I'm like, oh, there's dip switches. Oh, yeah, there we go.
So
Starts
you guys
humming.
start getting like oh, go ahead.
I think we still need to do an errant roll, right?
Oh,
So
yes.
like,
Yeah, I mean, difficulty 3,
all right,
but yeah.
yeah.
Well, no, actually, it would be difficulty 8, 7, 6, 5. I apologize.
Well, regardless,
Yeah, you're
I
good.
got 6.
And
I got 2 then.
yeah. So Phaedra's like, I understand space. This is dimensional space. I'll bring your theories into mine. And so you guys are able to get a pretty good lay of the land spiritually, like kind of and see into the near umbra, the near dimension, just the other side of the coin. And you don't see anything that seems abnormal, um, but that's abnormal. um, so you're not getting the same feel that this has. It seems like everything's kind of changed. There seems to be a lot less spirits in the spirit world that you're kind of seeing around you, especially for an area that would be, controlled by werewolves. And you would expect this to be, much more vibrant. But it kind of just seems kind of like your normal um, other dimension, and it doesn't have as dark of a feel to it though either.
Okay. I'll let these guys use it as well. The way I described it is it's like an eyepiece. so you can see through it. But yeah, let's walk around for like a half hour and just look around, see if we can see any clues.
As you guys kind of look around a little bit more, give me a perception plus alertness, or perception plus alertness, or perception plus awareness. It's up to you. What information you get will be based on the roll that you do, though.
I'm gonna do alertness.
Awareness. Damn, 6.
Okay, so
I
Tycho.
also did that's alertness.
Okay, so Tycho
I'm gonna
is.
do I'll do awareness, seeing as my dots are the same.
Okay, so Tycho did alertness, Malakai did alertness, and Phaedra did awareness.
Yeah.
I did awareness.
Oh, you did awareness.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It doesn't matter then.
All right, so we'll start off with Tycho. With your awareness roll that you did, you're basically kind of looking around and looking for anything that kind of like stands out. And one thing that seems to be abnormal, but not in the way that you wanted it to be, is that you do see some, there seems to be a tainted area of the forest. Something is going on in this area of the arboretum that coincides more with the worm, as your character understands it, and that is a very abnormal for the Madison Arboretum. That normally would be snuffed out almost immediately, from what you understand. And what you can see is that there is, you guys are coming to the edge of this area, and there's the trees, the spirit trees are more withered. The trees around you in the reality are also kind of dying as well. And you can see that there's, as you look deeper through in the umbra, you can see that it's starting to get darker and more death, and you can kind of see that also in reality, where it seems like the closer that you're getting to the center of whatever is going on here, it seems to be more withering, and the trees are all like completely dead as you get closer in. It seems to be the object that is the center of what's happening here seems to be like it would be maybe 100 yards off.
Okay, well,
It's
I
hard to
definitely
tell,
want to go there. Phaedra, can you get a sample of whatever's killing these trees in our world? Maybe we can cross-reference it with some stuff.
Yeah, I could attempt to do that.
But yeah, so whatever's killing these trees, it looks like, based on the information that I'm getting from the Umbra, it's a little bit that way.
Okay.
So Phaedra, you want to test the trees and see what's killing them in reality?
Yeah.
So give me a life arete roll, but explain what you're doing, and then that can be your skill roll that you can use if you wish.
Okay. I'll do a scraping of the bark, and then I'm going to basically make a solution to test its pH level and all that stuff, and see if I can gather what type of biological element is eroding these trees.
Okay. So you kind of do your chemistry. So this would be biology and or
Academics.
I'll go with academics. Yep, that would be biology. Yeah.
Okay. What's my difficulty?
Difficulty of 7.
2 successes.
Okay, and then you can roll at a arete difficulty of 3. All right, so you do a scan of or like one of the trees and kind of to get like a data analysis back. You are getting a high level of radiation coming from the tree itself.
So, like, did it pick it up from the soil, or is it
It's
outside element?
it seems to be something that is permeating it as if it was like an outside element. So it's possible you guys are being permeated by radiation at this point as well.
Okay.
So you
when
guys
she
are
says
at the very
radiation.
edge, of course.
When she says radiation, I just look over at Malakai.
Who's got the Geiger counter? Was it me this time? I forgot it.
I mean, I've probably got something that can probably do it. I think you're the one that knows how to work that shit.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Just pat my pockets. Didn't think I would need my Geiger counter today.
I have a thermal locator, but I don't think that's the same.
It might work, but maybe I can modify it.
Okay.
And,
My problem is radiation. We didn't bring any hazmat suits. Let me see if I can whip something up real quick to protect us from radiation.
yeah, I might. We'd have to head back to base to do it, but otherwise, yeah, we resupply. We can. I'm going to modify that thermal imager to look, instead of the thermal wavelength, and have it look into the X-ray wavelength.
Okay. So you guys, just to give you some more movement forward as well here too. So Phaedra, you are able to kind of come up with like a shot that you can kind of give people to protect yourself from the radiation with your advanced life sciences that you have. Um, and Malakai, you're able to get like a scan off on this that kind of tells you that there's a um, it similar to like gamma radiation kind of coming off of it, but seems to be like on an altered kind of wavelength, kind of going into
Slightly
more
wrong.
yeah, kind of entropic or the death
Okay.
resonance kind of seems to be attached to it.
Is there a center?
And there is a center to you can also see that as you guys like continue moving through the forest and as the things are dying around you, like you can see, like not like quickly, but like that things have slowly withered away in this area. It becomes easier to see, and you can see that there is a little impact crater.
Your werewolf buddies will. You might even earn some good faith with them if we take care of this right now.
Yeah, if any of them are still around. What does it look like in the Umbra? Anything at all?
In the Umbra, the impact crater looks like a wound in Gaia. Like there's similar to, an impact crater basically in the spiritual area, and everything around it is decimated. And it's just black, and there seems to be like black goo that seems to be like bubbling up every once in a while.
Well, good thing we're not on that side. Is there something in the crater?
So you
Yeah,
guys
let's
are gonna
throw it in the
get
crater.
to the point where you guys want to get right up to the impact crater. So the crater itself is only about like 20 feet in radii, so about 40 feet in diameter, and it kind of goes down about 20 feet, give or take. Kind of just maybe about 15 feet, and the impact of like what you can see down at the center, as you guys kind of like look down, um, is a black crystal.
Oh, I'm whipping out some scanners.
Yeah, is that the where the radioactive activity is coming from?
Yes.
Scraping, but I also don't want to bring that out.
Don't get. I don't know that you should get any closer than this. I assume we're all standing at the crater's edge, looking down into this crater.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't
I
want to touch
don't.
that thing.
I don't want to touch it, but I also want to figure out a way to neutralize it. But the only way to do that is to get a scraping.
No, we
Or
have we have an idea of what kind of radiation it's giving off. Now we just, I mean, there's nobody else that knows this is here, presumably. We'll have to go back and look at the newspapers and find out. Because the
One.
internet sucks.
Yeah, the internet sucks. One note: what is the size of the crystal?
Size of the crystal. Sorry, I was about to say that too. It seems to be about 8 feet in length, with about maybe 2 feet of diameter. Um,
It's a
That
lot
is
bigger than we
big.
thought.
It's well, that's why it didn't decimate the city, because it didn't hit going that fast. It made this big crater on its scale, unless if it's super light. It might be super
I
light.
truly don't like that being here.
I also don't like that.
Is it like sticking up out of the ground, or is it just
yes.
laying down?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
sticking up out of the ground, kind of like, and almost giving off like a weird pulse. Not
Oh, we
not
gotta
not
uproot it.
in vision, not
Yeah,
in. It just is almost
let's
like you
back up.
can feel it, like pulsating
Oh,
every 5 seconds.
uh, can I use time 1 to figure out how long it's been here? I might need time 2 for that.
I want to figure out if it's sentient.
And I want to protect us via forces against whatever those pulses are.
Yep.
Not make it so we can't feel them, but make it so it doesn't affect us.
I just want to make sure there's no like weird organism living on that thing or in
Oh,
it.
that's good. That's a good call.
So
Okay.
That was just a casket. That wasn't the actual or a pod.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good call.
I pull out my smartphone, cell phone, telephone, and in another pouch on my belt, I pull out my wave interpreter and hook it into the universal parallel bus. And I would like to use a mind effect to figure out whether this thing has a mind.
Okay. So go ahead and give me a hypertech plus intelligence difficulty of 6.
Wow. This thing works really well. Well, we're at 3 then.
Yep, we're at 3. They're diff
Oh,
3.
I rolled it at a 6. Sorry.
You
So I rolled
got
4.
4
you-
successes.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So with 4 successes, you can definitely feel some kind of, or you get back a reading of conscious wavelengths. Like consciousness is coming from this. It doesn't seem
Does
to register like the way that you would anticipate like a human consciousness or anything like that. It seems to have like an otherworldly consciousness, and your understanding of the other dimensions and stuff is that this is not of this world.
does the pulsating feel familiar to me specifically?
No.
Okay, so it's not vicissitude.
Correct. I mean,
All right, let's take it back to
Sorry,
Technogate.
Yeah, so let's pick up a 8-foot long,
Hey,
2-foot
we
wide
got
crystal.
you're thinking too
Okay.
narrowly. We
So
just picked
there's
up Kyle.
there's
He's pretty cool. We don't know
there's
what's going on with this.
there's two things that I always want to do when it's something like this. One, is it alive? How do I kill it? Can I kill this thing? Since I know it's got similar life form elements.
And I'm going to say that it's actually about 10 feet by 5 feet.
Okay.
Oh, it's real big. Okay.
Does
the
it need?
crystal's real big, at least?
I would like to figure out what this fucking thing's weaknesses are. Does it need oxygen? Is it like a bacteria? Can I kill it with like severe temperatures? What can I do?
Hear me out, guys. Let's go get Kyle and throw him at it.
Oh,
Why? Why do you not like Kyle?
No, I like Kyle. I was just thinking, like, you know,
Get his opinion. He might have something to say.
Let's think outside the box. Kyle, go touch that.
I would like to understand the crystal.
I don't want to make a Venom in reality, you know? We don't need a monstrous Spider-Man out here doing whatever he wants because he touched a magic rock.
We just got to open our minds to the possibility that maybe that's actually exactly what we need.
Maybe it wants to be our friend. Hello, Crystal.
Yeah, I'm just ignoring the fact that it's killing trees in the vicinity and everything in the ethereal plane. Yeah, fuck that. This thing is bad.
We chop down trees. We kill trees. Maybe.
Yeah, but not by decay. We do it. You're right.
I'm just saying, like,
I'll walk away from that.
There's a lot of other things you can do. You can move it. You can destroy it. That's one. You can befriend it.
No,
don't do that.
Politely to leave.
Okay.
That one is not unreasonable, but it's going to lead to befriending, and befriending is going to be bad. Guarantee it.
I think destroy and move, I think, are going to be the big ones.
I am 120% in destroy camp. And that is me, the person who is always curious and always loves to push the envelope of things. I'm seeing what it's doing to the surrounding areas. We do not have the time to contain this before someone of bad intentions possibly comes across this. If we want to, we can replicate it later in the future.
I mean, I'm looking at a crystalline structure that's emitting energy. This is,
oh, don't forget,
we might not
it
be
has
able
a
to.
mind.
Oh, with a mind. Oh, it has a mind. Oh, that's kind of terrifying, actually.
Yeah. Now you understand why I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah. Even then, destroying it is going to take an effort. So the options are destroy or move. If we're going to move it, where are we going to move it to?
Yeah, that's a fun question.
My problem is it is obviously not from this world, so I won't be able to. Can I figure out its materials that are its closest comparison?
Do you have matter?
No. Does anybody have matter?
I do matter, but I don't have life, so I'm not sure if there's a. I do have.
We can team up on this. I want its.
Well, does he have 1 dot in life?
I have no life. I do have 2 in matter.
But you can definitely get the crystalline information. But you'll also get some more information, and you can work separately but together, I guess, on this. There is a life aspect, and there is a matter aspect to this that are separate but connected to each other, I guess. So you guys can kind of do the same thing. What I'm going to do, though, for requirements on this though is how are you guys going to be doing your experimentation? And I'm not going to allow for a tricorder scan at this point. You're gonna have to do
Yeah.
something more.
The difficulty is getting what I want without touching this thing.
Yep, I would agree. I also don't want to touch it. We're just standing looking at this rock in the middle of a circular half hole.
Yeah, this brings me all the way back to science theory. You've got to like be very good at speculating.
All right, we move it or we destroy it. Maybe we don't
We
do either.
do
of those.
not
We bury
touch it. We do not
we have
touch
to-
it.
We have to
When we're
understand.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what our... Because the problem is right now, we don't even know what it will react to. So let's say hypothetically we had a forklift and we wanted to move this thing, but it reacts violently to iron.
Yeah.
We don't know until we test that.
Does anybody have time? I have one dot in time.
I have no time.
Does the crystalline structure that I'm looking at? Well, I can see it. There's an extra component that I don't understand, and that's the life aspect. But like, is that crystalline structure? Is it stable in nature? Like, is it like a rock or like granite or like quartz? Yes. Can I relate it to something similar, or does it?
Yeah,
that's what
it would be similar to crystal.
So it has potential to grow?
Yes.
I'm just glad that it doesn't have the potential to suddenly break down very rapidly. And so, yeah, we have to. God, we're gonna have to touch it at some point, guys. I feel like we're not gonna be able to get around that point.
If someone wants to go back to the lab and get my equipment, we need hazmat suits. We need canisters that can contain uranium. If you could find ones that are stronger than that, I would totally be down. But we're not touching this thing until I can figure out if it can eat through our materials.
Yeah.
And it's honestly it's unless if we can like shoot it, which I'm absolutely not going to do because best case it works and it throws fragments everywhere, which is still equally horrible.
Which also grow.
Yeah, it's just there's that's a lose-lose right there.
Okay, so you said it's very similar to crystal.
Before we go any further,
Yeah.
can I do a time scan to figure out how long this thing has been here?
You could figure out how old it is, but you wouldn't. I mean, with a time of 1, you're really looking at like distortions in the if it's affecting time and stuff like that.
Well, there might be a more mundane way to do it, but I'll need Phaedra's help.
What's up? Boy, I'm down for anything. I want this the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
it's
we got like a mini bus here of rock that we have to get off the ground or something. Do something to it.
So, Phaedra, you took a scraping from a tree that was on like the far edge of this, right?
Yes.
Could you just take a scraping of a tree that's right next to the crater and compare the two and figure out like how long this
I
has been
want
affecting the area?
Yeah, I want samples of the soil that's close by, and also another scraping of a tree, because both of those would have absorbed whatever this thing is doing.
And actually, can I get a simple ret roll to see if we're under the effect of time dilation in either direction?
I'll just give that to you. You're not getting any signatures of any kind of time distortions that are happening or anything.
I want all of us to back up from this area now. because now that I know it's a possible life form, we probably need to quarantine, is what I'm saying. I don't know how quickly this thing affects organisms.
Yeah.
I don't want other people to know where this is, but I feel because one, there is literally no organisms around here. It should be fine for now. I just don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah. Before we go, I want to walk around the whole thing.
If you drop dead here, I'm leaving your body.
See,
So for
that's
Phaedra to
actually
say
the
that,
reason.
that's actually
That's actually the reason I want to rock around. I think there might be bodies.
keep
And
your
I
nose
wouldn't,
to the bird.
and I do not want you to touch any of them. Any
Oh,
of them. Like
Uh,
I'm going full Ripley from Aliens. I'm following protocol and y'all are clearly not.
okay. Instead
For
of
the record,
that,
I'm just watching. I haven't
in-
declared what I'm doing yet.
instead of that, GM, the trees are pretty sparse. There's no more undergrowth because everything's dead.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Malakai, do you have binoculars? Or a gun sight?
What do you need them for? Sorry, I
Oh,
muted myself to say that question.
I want to surveil the area around the crater and see if there are bones or
Oh,
anything
yeah.
suspicious.
We could do that later. It's not like we're not coming back. If they're dead, they're not going anywhere. The longer we stay here, the quicker we are getting possibly infected by something. I want to go.
Okay. Do you have the tree scraping?
I've got the dirt, I've got soil, I've got bark. Let's go.
Okay.
The
I've
quicker we
got
get back to the lab, the quicker we can get clean. We're incinerating all of our clothing. We're starting from scratch, and I want to make sure that I get bio scans from both of you.
Yeah,
We got to
okay,
go.
On one
Back-
hand, I want to push back. On the second hand, the other one, she has vicissitude, and she's probably just trying to protect me. So I'm going to follow Phaedra.
As a person who's affected by life forms, I don't want another one. Let's go.
Yep. Again, it's. I think that we both agree this is something we are going to have to deal with. We cannot just let this lie here. We agree on that.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah,
I'm with you then. Let's
Like,
go.
but
as soon as
that's
I
why
make sure, as soon as I know that you're both healthy and you haven't been infected with anything, we're immediately coming right back. I just don't understand why we're having this conversation right here. It's
Oh
like
yeah, no. But
we're
I'm
standing
standing.
on the
I'm
surface
only.
of the sun and you're asking if there's ice cream around. Let's go!
that's why I want to know the time frame. If it's been here a day and it already got out several like 100
We're
yards,
coming back in
that's
about
really
literally like 3 hours.
yeah.
We'll get that time frame when we come back.
Okay, let's back to my mom's house, to the Dodge Neon.
Uh,
Neon.
I know this is gonna sound weird. Take off your clothes. Leave them here. I don't want to contaminate the vehicle or your mom's house.
We
We live in a society, Phaedra.
no,
And
that's not what I was gonna say. We should be able to do once we get
because we live in a society, I know how bacteria and viruses work. Leave your clothes here.
Yeah,
I'm
but
already naked.
if we get far enough away, you should be able to do a scan to see whether or not we're clean. These will be the same scans.
And if they come up wrong, then we've
Well,
already
then we
contaminated
leave.
this vehicle. We're going to
Yeah,
burn the
well,
vehicle too? I'm okay
Yeah,
with
we got
that.
tons of them.
We can destroy this vehicle.
Well, you'd
Also,
have
how-
time before you get to the. You could basically kind of do like a check on, and I'll kind of just give you to give easily move this kind of forward is that you're able to leave right now and you're not heavily contaminated. So it's not like this is
I
something that
know,
just
but
is
this is
murdering.
with Phaedra would totally take it like 3,000 steps too far.
I recognize that it seemed to be radiation energy forces based, but I wasn't sure if there was a life component, and I wasn't going to doubt Phaedra in case there was. Let's go.
All right, so you guys are able to get back to your Tycho's mother's house without a problem. Um, base camp 1, we'll call it. um, and Tycho, you said that you were going to be looking in the papers for something regarding this.
Yeah, I guess. I was gonna think about that later because we
Oh,
gotta
go ahead.
probably get
Yeah.
back to Technogate, decontaminate, scan.
You guys are able to decontaminate, and the scan comes back, once again, that you guys are not contaminated by anything.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. All
All
right.
right,
So
now
limited exposure is fine, even at the crater's edge. We've established that. We should probably still do suits. Um, what's the time frame on this thing? Uh, and then while Phaedra's working on that, I don't know, look up news stories. I assume there's an internet connection, and yeah, some
Yep.
things had a website in the year 2000.
Yeah, go ahead and make a research. You could do computers. I'll allow difficult plus intelligence difficulty of
I have a
6.
surprisingly low computer. I'm a hypertech man.
You make the devices that would search the web for you.
Do research here. Difficulty 6.
Difficulty 6.
Oh, good rolls. Yeah, 3.
So there is a story about a falling star that a shooting star that happened nearby. It didn't cause like a fire or anything though, and but there was believed to be like an impact. Some people went out looking for like the impact site, but never found it, and it was never really picked up on basically at all. But there is like a minor story that you do see about it.
Okay. When?
And oh, sorry, that was so this would have happened not too long after you disappeared. So it's been there almost a year.
Oh. That is good. Ish. So I run back into the lab and I'm like,
Okay.
I printed out the web page. It's the year 2000. And I'm like, it looks like it happened like a year ago. So the spread seems to be pretty low.
Okay, that's
Uh,
good. As you just see me throwing random shit into a suitcase, like solutions and different latex gloves at different levels. Like I'm going full conspiracy. uh okay, so it's only been a year, so the growing isn't that large. That also means we could probably erode it at a quicker pace.
Something else was happening in the Umbra, but I'm not super keen on figuring that out immediately.
Yeah. The quicker we can erode this thing, it could also have positive effects to the Umbra.
okay. I have a crazy idea. So we were gonna wear spacesuits, not spacesuits, hazmat suits,
Mhm.
to interact with these things safely, right? What if we built a spacesuit, hazmat suit, large enough to go around it, and then we just like roll it into it and just kind of bag it up in a suit where it stops
Y'all,
affecting things.
Yeah, we have to contain it somehow.
Yeah,
Who said anything about containing this thing?
Uh, it's part of the movement option.
I'm going to destroy it as soon as possible. We won't have to move anything if it's gone. I'm
Yeah,
just trying
but
to figure out the best solution with it. Because if it's like a crystal and I could probably like erode it with acid, that could also make it evaporate. But then I'd have to contain the vapors to make sure it doesn't go anywhere else.
Suit's good for that. You could fill the suit with acid.
I I
You can get it suited up.
I don't know what it's made out of, and if it's something if the pulse can get through plastic or latex, hazmat suit option might not work. If it's better to put it in something made out of iron, I need to know that. I I'm going back out there to test the materials.
okay. Before we go, let's go to the database. I might need some help to look for a similar thing that's happened before. We might get some clues.
Okay.
This is the kind of shit that the Technocracy dealt with.
Because here's
This
my worst
thing-
case scenario. Let's
Oh.
say hypothetically, because again, I'm a woman of science and I like to do theories. Everyone went out there last year to go fight the Nameless. I don't know if that was a big ass asteroid or an entity out in space. We have no clue. But let's say hypothetically it was an asteroid and they destroyed it, blowing it up. And now we have a random ass fucking thing made a crater here. Do you see what my thought process is?
Are you saying it's a part of the Nameless?
It could be, or because it didn't resonate with my vicissitude, so I don't know what the fuck that is.
I'm gonna pretend like I know what that meant. Actually, I do probably know what that meant. Okay.
I did tell you,
Yeah.
and I
you-
have it handled. I'm fixing it.
I
It's
think Tycho decides to forget it most of the time.
because it could be really bad. Yeah, I get you. I have it handled. I haven't had a flare up in a very long time.
It's herpes.
Basically.
Forces and matter. Am I able to know what materials will work to contain this thing? You can toss out a touch of entropy there if you want.
Yeah, you'll need so in order to contain it, you believe that you would need at least 2 in entropy, 2 in matter, 2 in life, and 2 in dimensional science.
I got the correspondence in the prime.
Well, shit.
Well, I've got 1 dot in all of those and 3 in dimensional science. So we could probably go the framework route.
What would it take to destroy it?
Yeah, that's a better question.
So to destroy it, you believe that you might be able to set something up that, I mean, game mechanics wise, I would say that you probably need 3 in all of those in order to destroy it.
I don't
short
care.
Short of
how
other
long.
like that's through like direct advanced science. There's other things that might be able to be done, like forces 4 straight up, like trying to disintegrate it type stuff. Forces 5. There's other ways around it, nuking it, stuff like that might be options that you'd have, but
What about teleporting it the fuck off my planet?
teleporting it the fuck off your planet. There's outside the box thinking, but yeah, straight up, it'd be easier to contain it than it would be to destroy it.
Okay.
Yeah. We could use the Technogate to pull it directly into a containment unit. Theoretically.
I want to jettison it into space and just act like none of this happened.
As a mind, though.
Exactly.
I want to talk to it. Oh.
Tycho.
Probably has nothing good to say.
Yeah. And if its intelligence is higher than yours, you could be gone and then you can just be it.
Maybe
I
it's just a nice
I
guy
love
dressed like a crystal.
I you know me, Tycho. Nothing but curiosity. Boundless. I have no qualms of having guinea pigs to figure out our world's reality. There is one line I will not draw or go across, and that's shit that has nothing to do with our planet. If that thing is not a part of our planet, I don't want to know it. It's good. It could go back into space.
I mean, I agree. I do. I have a hunch. The same day that this thing fell to Earth, according to the paper, I would like to research and find out if anything else fell to Earth that day, or if there's any kind of indication that that's the case.
So you start looking that up, and just based off the roll that you had before, I'm going to extend that and say that you also find other sightings of shooting stars and stuff like that that seem to not have there was an impact site like you guys kind of found, um, but the same kind of thing where it's there's
No fire.
no not the fire and brimstone that you would think like that kind of like shooting star would cause in that area. It's a very weird kind of thing, and that nobody really, you're not really finding any indications that people are able to find the impact sites of these. There seems to be like an indication that you kind of felt it as well. Like the pulse would, like, if you weren't who you are, it feels like maybe, just based on the research that you're finding, that the pulse is pushing people away from the impact zone. There's only recent reports of like, kind of connecting back to that there people are saying that they're starting to see like, there's the fall season this year it came much sooner. There seems to be like all throughout the world there seems to be an effect, or not throughout the world. There's about 12 of these impact sites throughout the world. And it's not like it's a global pandemic or epidemic or whatever that's happening, but it's localized. Like there seems to be some weird plant life interaction, and even Madison kind of has that where it seems to be really apparent at the impact zone, but even at the you know citywide, there seems to be like the trees are just not as healthy as they were before. The soil itself is not taking to farm as well in the Dane County area.
Oh, so there's like a lesser effect on a larger scale.
Yes.
Okay. And I'll come back to the group and pull up the map of the world and put the overlay on, and I'm like, there's at least 12 more of these things, or 11 or something like that.
Of course it is. Of
And
course.
and then
Yeah.
I zoom in on Madison, and I'm like, this is the crystal, and then I draw a circle around it. This is the crater. Like, this is the area that we could see the trees being affected, and then I zoom out and I start making like a dotted line, and I'm like, there's a definite gradient here.
Is there a
The effects
pattern?
of the like the a pattern of the shards worldwide.
Yeah, of where they fell. Is there a pattern or a correlation of? Does it
I
look like there was a purpose to where they landed?
I have one in entropy. Can I figure that out?
This would take prime.
Can I do that?
Yep.
Yeah, not that I can see.
Okay. What's the difficulty on that Arete roll?
Difficulty of we'll do 6.
3.
All right. You definitely when you look at this, you kind of like get this strong pattern feeling that kind of tells you that this seemed to land by areas that have been mapped out by the Technocracy as being what they believe to be, at the very least, strong node locations.
Oh fuck.
And I think that is where we are going to
So many questions.
wrap it up here. And then let you guys kind of get an idea of I'm gonna get because I don't have the locations and stuff, so I'm gonna get those locations for you guys and get you some more information at the start of the next episode as to what
Throw
these
Kyle at it.
these 12 different the other thing that does happen that kind of breaks this up for you is that you do, and we'll start the beginning of the next one off with a phone call does come in from Kyle.
I was one. Yeah. I'm sure he panicked for a little bit, but then he realized we're the best chance he has at understanding it going forward. He was coming back.
Oh no. Of course he is. His thing is about astrological science, and we found these fucking things from space. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, his notable his interest in astrology definitely did astronomy. Which one's the correct one? Shit. Definitely
One of
did.
Guys, you said astrology earlier in the night, and I was like, there ain't no degree in astrology not at UW.
Yeah, well, the Hermetic UW.
Hermetics, actually, yeah.
Now, astronomy. I think there's at
Astronomy.
least something.
Yes, that's the study of stars. I loved astronomy because the math was easy and I could do it.
And have that class. All right, peeps and peepettes, I'm outie.
All right, well,
Good night,
thank you so
everybody.
much for watching, everybody, and thanks for showing up and kicking some ass here. I think you guys got a good start on a bunch of investigation that you guys are needing to do, and on a good path for what needs to be done here. So awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.